doing I'm doing a time, money, and contentment project. And basically, what it is I need to I have to describe my ideal life, and then give it to you to see what you thought about that, and work in some psychology concepts into it. So my ideal life is, as you know, is to be a neurosurgeon. So that's 4 years of college, 4 years of med school, and then 4 years of residency and my fellowship, and that's a base 12 years. And after that, I was thinking about ideally, and I'm basing this off my own personal finance project we did in civics and economics, which was a project. It was
Neurosurgery is a specialty, so it's going to be more than 12 years, just as long as you know that.
Okay. All right, I'll factor that in. But which is what we did in civics and econ, and that was literally he had us go through what do you want to be, how much does it make, what all do you need to do to get it, how much school.
Pretty much all the stuff I told you to do last summer.
Yeah, but summer's for great. So that's what I'm basing this off of. So I was gonna become a neurosurgeon and doing my school and move to Salt Lake City, Utah. That's just an ideal location I would like to live in, and excuse me, establish a practice there or work at probably for the first couple of years. I wanted to because I wanted to specialize in neurosurgeon, didn't specialize in being a neurosurgeon. So first I wanted to travel the world and work on patients, kind of like Royal Pains. Do you remember that show?
Yeah, they didn't travel the world and work on patients. They were concierge doctors.
Okay. Yeah.
So they pretty much put Band-Aids on boo-boos for rich people in the Hamptons.
Okay, I take that back. But I wanted to travel the world and worked on special cases. That kind of backfired. So I wanted to travel the world and work on special cases, and then eventually come back and settle down, and ideally maybe work at just really just anywhere in Utah, but just I want to establish a practice there and establish my name for myself and settle down in Salt Lake City and continue my practice. So I was just feel like, what do you think? Is that realistic or how?
Well, I'm thinking neurosurgery is something that you're going to have to be at a big name hospital, something that's big. I don't know about Utah, but I'm thinking big name hospitals with specialties like that are going to be more in your cities, somewhere like LA, DC, New York, Miami. I don't know. I mean, Orlando, Florida has got one of the best hospitals in the world, as well as Myrtle Beach. So that's something that you need to look up. That's something that you need to look up, is what hospital would get you the experience that you want and where the best neurosurgeons practice, so that you can get in on those cases that come from around the world and maybe travel with those doctors. Doctors Without Borders is something that not really surgeons do, but that's a lot of travel with medicine, and you can also meet probably a lot of clients, maybe, or a lot of patients that would need your assistance, or work with getting them either back to the U.S. or networking, getting doctors to them, if, with you being in that field, to get them the help that they need. So I think Salt Lake City is a beautiful place to live, but I don't know about the hospitals around that place. So that's something that you need to investigate, and traveling and doing those types of surgery. Those are things that I've been talking to you about forever. I mean, that's a lot of good money. Those doctors are world renowned. That's a lot of dedication, a lot of work. They work on specialty cases, they write papers, they teach. So it's a lot of travel involved with that. A lot of work, a lot of dedication, and it's a beautiful thought. I think it's great. But you may want to, and when you're established and you're up there and you've made a name for yourself, you can live wherever you want to live. Let that be your home base. But being a top name neurosurgeon, you're going to be traveling. So you may have an apartment in LA, you may have an apartment in Sacramento, you may have an apartment in Seattle, I mean, you may have places all over, just, depending, I mean, they may have a jet that flies you from A to B. Hell, they got a jet that flew our instructors, they were just teachers. They flew her from Wilmington to Charlotte to teach our class. So the hospitals, when you're that renowned, they will fly you places for your services. But it's just a matter of networking. And that's going to be one of those things as far as what you know and who you know. You got to really network to get into those top positions. But you have to be good enough to be recognized. And like I've always told you, you have got to work 3 times as hard. Blonde hair and blue eyes will get it every time, and they can be mediocre. But you have got to bring it. You've got to bring it hard. So, I mean, I think it's a great plan, but you got to bring it. You got to bring your dedication 100% all the time. So it's going to be a severe juggling act trying to live life and do your practice. That's why you see so many people that are very successful, that travel the world and well-renowned. They don't have families. They don't, or they have several wives because their wives fall in love with them and they get sick and tired of them not being there for them. They can't establish a good home base because they're so busy traveling. Their work comes first. So just in life in general, you have to kind of choose and you have to get that balance. And I think that's something that every adult struggles with, is the balance of family and work. It's something that I struggle with all the time. Your dad don't struggle with it. Your dad is like, work first, family. I mean, as long as we in this house, your daddy don't care, which is not a good way to be. I struggle with trying to be there for the repack meetings, which is the representing you in the engineering program, making sure that they know my face, that they know your face, that I'm being involved, because that's very important when you have children. And you know that. I've been there for you. I've made sure that you were into things and you were, you excelled in whatever it is you wanted to do. So that's very important when you talk about having a family and a home base. But when you have a job, like on my days off, I'm going to conferences. I was just at a 2-day conference in Charlotte Monday. I was at the job doing bereavement stuff, working on papers and policies. So it's a juggling act, When you were younger, I had to tuck and roll. You had to jump out the car. I had to get you to school. I'm at work. I'm going back and forth, making sure that I'm there. I did book fairs, flip down and do night shift for you to do your volunteer stuff during the summer hours. So it's a balancing act. You think about the other end of your life, how I always had to flip things and make sure you got to where you needed to be. It's a balancing act. So that's something that when you talk about family and what age you want to be when you do certain things, it's a balancing act. And then you got to know that life is going to throw you curveballs. Mommy had me at 24. I thought I would start my family at 24. Who knew I wouldn't be able to have a baby easily? So that was a curveball life threw me. I mean, it took me 5 years. So I wanted 3, 4 children. I had 1. I mean, life is going to throw things at you. You can plan a lot, but you have to prepare your heart and mind also. And that's another reason why I try to give you that Christian foundation, knowing to put God first and knowing to pray for him, pray to him for the things that you want so that he can guide you and help you balance those things, because we can't do these things alone. And also knowing that sometimes when you ask him for things, sometimes the answer is no. And to just smile and say, okay, and know that God is going to give you everything that you can handle. He will never give you anything you can't handle. So anything that you want, anything that you're striving for, the balance in life and family, work, relationships, all of that is going to come together as long as you've got a good foundation. And it's for this house, God is our foundation. So as long as you have that foundation, all of that is going to work out. It's all going to work out. So faith and belief in that higher power, our God, is going to take care of all of that. And I think it's a wonderful plan, but I always told you need 2 things in life. What I always tell you, you need God, and you need a maid. If you got God, that's gonna be your happiness. You need to make enough money to have a maid, so you gonna be straight. Those are only two things in life you need: God and a maid. That's what you need in life. But that's it. I mean, you good. I think it's an awesome plan. But you need to know that balance. You have to think about balance. And you look at successful lives. I mean, I look at Dr. Harris. Dr. Harris has been married for over 30 years. Dr. Harris was one of the first, well, he was the first black OBGYN. Harrison Smith practiced in Durham, North Carolina. Dr. Avery's been married for over 30 years. Now that's what I tell you about being a power couple. Dr. Harris is OBGYN married to an anesthesiologist. Dr. Avery, OBGYN married to, he's an IBM mogul. He represents, he's got 3 clients that are, one of them works for, oh God, not the Redskins, but I don't know, one of those teams, that's San Francisco, whatever those are. But anyway, he's got a football player, a hockey player, and a baseball player that he represents. That he, I don't. Yes, I think, I don't know. But he makes those deals for them. He cuts that money for them. So he's their representative. So he's a money man. Power couples. Dr. Smith, power couple. But Dr. Smith was the other half of Harrison Smith. He's OB/GYN, married to, his wife does a little bit of everything, but she's a businesswoman. She's out there. She's had several businesses. She's like a startup. She gets businesses started, and she lets them run their own, and she sits back and makes the money. So being powerful, and when you think about relationships and starting your life, you got to think about who you choose. You don't want to choose just somebody that's pretty. Like I've always told you boys at CP, the prettier they are, the crazier they are. You look at all these people up in big names like Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods had this beautiful wife who did what? Sat around the house and made babies. She did nothing else. And he out here cheating on her with everybody else under the sun. So that's something that you got to have. Once you have that balance and you have that foundation, you won't have time for all of that. It's because you're too busy trying to balance out in your life. And, with that structure that you're going to get from that, that's going to be key. So you got your base where you want to live, somewhere beautiful. Make sure that that's close to an ideal hospital, an ideal program. You want to be a neurosurgeon, you need to go to, there's always going to be a hub, like, say, Cancer Centers for America. So that they open up in certain locations. That's where those people are going to come to. So a location that's known for their neurosurgeons or having this certain technique that's done here, that's where you want to be close to, because that's the kind of experience you want to get under your belt. And those are the kind of names that you want to be associated with. Okay? So that's your foundation, and you're talking about life and children. That'll come. That'll come. Don't search for it. Don't seek it. It'll come. And just being happy. Don't try to force happiness. Don't try to buy happiness. Just be happy in the little things. Because if not, then you got depression setting in. Oh, I can't pay this bill. I can be upset because I got a quarter tank of gas in my car. No, I'm happy because I got a quarter tank of gas in my car, and I got a job to go to in the morning. I mean, it's work, and it's getting harder every day, but I got a job. A lot of people can't say that. I got something on my mind every day. Got to focus. As long as you got something on your mind, you'll be all right. It'll work itself out. So I know this is for your project. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. But in all of this, don't forget the foundation. You got to have that foundation. Faith is big, because a lot of people don't have that, and a lot of people flopping in the wind. You have all these really smart people that got the world on their shoulders, and they kill themselves because they can't handle it. They can't handle losing something, or being rejected, or taking, somebody says no to them about something, and they kill themselves because they don't have that foundation. They don't know that it's all right. God told them to tell me no for this because it's a setup for something better. I'm being set up. Okay, I got to go through this rejection because something better is on the other side. I just got to get to it. They don't know that. This is why they wind up killing themselves or being on a clock tower trying to pick people off because they so upset at the world. Oh, everybody did me wrong. Boo hoo hoo. You got to have that foundation. You got to have God. And we talk about the Holy Ghost, which is that little thing in your ear. Be like, all right, Zaya, we need you to move to the left just a little bit. You move to the left, bump into somebody. It could be the best person you ever bumped into. It could be your meal ticket. It could be the person that's going to take you to where you need to be in med school, to the residencies, meeting people, your future wife. You never know. But if you don't have that faith and you don't learn to listen to your inner spirit, none of that is going to make a difference. Not one bit of it. So I think that's something that's very important that you have to include in everything. God first. You got to have that faith. You got to have that foundation. Once you have that foundation, everything else is going to be easy. I told you when you were born, I gave you to God. And I mean, I honestly believe that's why you got your brains. Everything you touch is golden. Everything comes easy. It drives me crazy because I want you to focus more, but you don't need to focus. You are like, get it, got it, good. And I want you to spend time with it, but you don't need to, which is awesome. But when you do need to, I want you to, because you ain't showed me the progress reports yet. I can only imagine what they say, but you need to focus more. And, I mean, you talking med school. This is your senior year. They're going to be looking at this stuff. So this is on you. I've given you all the tools you need, man. Hands off. You need to brush him more. Oh, turn this on.